Hey guys, Johnny Baseball is back, and we are working on the Angels. So I had to take a break and think about this Trevor Story deal. Uh, totally nuts. I also did not realize that when I clicked on the respond to the message and we discuss it, even their GM doesn't like the deal. He thinks it's a joke. He sent it. I don't know if this is a glitch in OOTP. Uh, they made a mistake, like I left Diaz off the active roster, so he got scooped up in the Rule 5 draft, or what is going on? My assistant GM doesn't like the deal. He thinks we should get more from them. Um, totally nuts. So neither GM likes it, but they proposed the trade. So, I thought about it and I was like, oh, that is a lot of prospect capital, but it's Trevor Story. Um, so that's a huge game changer. And we can afford him. It's the Angels. We have plenty of millions in available space. So, and then, dude, having Trevor Story, Rendon, Mike Trout, if Ohtani's healthy, Ohtani, that is a rough lineup for any pitcher to get through. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say yes to this. Um, it's a lot of prospects. Hopefully, the Rockies will be competitive in that new AL South in a few years when all those 20-year-olds get to the major leagues. That's amazing. Take Trevor Story. And yes, the fans are ecstatic about getting Trevor Story. Yeah, I am too. That's awesome. Um, oh my God. And, like I was saying, they never put the guy I acquired down here. They did it for once. Um, that's amazing. Maybe they're listening to me. The game is spying on me. So, very cool. Very, very cool. But this time, we're going to remember to go put our recently acquired player off of the DFA and onto that active roster. We're definitely going to be in the position we gotta make some trades. Um, but yeah, getting Trevor Bauer and Trevor Story, the year of Trevor apparently is the theme of the 21 Angels in this scenario. With some serious Trevor power. Um, awesome. Hopefully that can push us into and through the playoffs, get Mike Trout to the big stage where he belongs. Massive, massive deal. Now we have a lot to move. So I don't want to. Okay, so we've got a month until spring training. We can advance a week. See if anybody else offers up some crazy deal. The auto save. And yes, the player development update. Ohtani improved, great. So some go up, some go down, and they in specific categories as well as their overall. So Andres, who just re-signed, his overall and potential ratings dropped. Amaya improved, fantastic, because we're going to have to keep him on the starting roster. Nick Williams did as well. That's great. Although he was on that list as one of the selfish players, so we'll probably look to move him Not sure what we'll be able to get back, but and I know that we just traded for him, but sometimes that happens. You know, you get a guy, maybe it's not a good fit, personality clash, and you gotta move him. Sometimes that happens. Cool. No other big moves. But yeah, if Otani's healthy, can stay healthy for the season, that'd be amazing. Okay, so maybe we it's February now. Maybe we start seeing if somebody wants to give us something for our extra shortstop capital. Right, our active roster, we have, with Bauer, Bundy, Heaney, Lynn, and Otani pitching, that ought to do the trick for pushing the Angels a little further. Okay. Bim Bim and Stazzy. That's tough. I keep both of them for now. We decided Barreto, yeah, he has some versatility, and he's an extremely hard worker, so I'm going to keep him. But Chisholm is shortstop only, and he has a higher potential, so we can probably move him. And we don't need Soto anymore either. Because Barreto can back up second and short behind Fletcher and Story. It's not like you're going to have a platoon with either of those guys. So we just need a guy who is a solid backup for both. And it looks like Barreto can, his batting is pretty poor in 19 and 20. But, hopefully he can return to form like in 18, even 17 as a backup. That's not terrible. And yeah, we have an overflow picking up Peters, who can. He really just plays right field. And we signed Eaton, so he's going to be the starter. He's 1 year deal. And Lund, and he did well at AAA, and he plays all of the positions, all of the outfield positions. It's important. So Williams. And so also, if you're like, oh man, I traded for this guy, I can't remember what I gave up, you just click their name or click the trade thing, and there it is. So we gave up some guys that were definitely not going to play, and a 6th-round pick for Williams. So this is cool. You can go back through and see any trade, and then quickly see later, after they've played a little bit. So and there's Renifo, who the Rangers traded to the Nationals already before the season. Got traded twice in that offseason. So you can follow the guys a little bit that you traded away and see how they're doing. So we traded a backup outfielder and an infielder with some serious potential. But we got pitching, and that is what we needed. Now we've got hopefully some lights out pitching to complement that amazing offense that we have, and that we'll see how this team does. So let's go back to we can just click back a couple times. And here we are. We can go to shop player around. We're definitely going to need to give away more, but let's see if anybody is interested in a Nick Williams Jazz Chisholm package. See what we could get. I'll leave it totally open. Veterans, prospects, regulars. You know, if you want to specifically target something, or you think that, you know, if you're only interested in getting back prospects, good luck, especially with the harder trade settings, because they're not going to give you any prospects. Regulars, this guys who are on the roster, active guys who've played but maybe don't have a massive contract. Veterans can be literally anybody. And it looks like we're actually going to get some offers, and a lot of them, for a lot of veterans with some bigger contracts. Like, oh, I could get Chris Sale and pay a lot of money. I mean, if he returns to form, he's worth it. But you know, we've kind of got our starting pitching now. But this is good to know, and so I'll probably be able to unload more of those guys who are not really going to see any playing time, and make a big trade here, featuring Chisholm and Williams. And so I'll need to look kind of specifically what I want to build up my current roster. Maybe it's, you know, if somebody has a left fielder like Benintendi, maybe I want to, I mean, he's less expensive than my left fielder. Maybe we work something out with Boston, you know, and I take a lot of their money, and they maybe take on Upton. Who knows? And I get Benintendi in return. It would be that could be worth it. Because I mean, I know that I'm going to have to take on a big contract. Hey, Chris Bryant's available for trade. Not terribly surprising. The Cubs let Rizzo walk in the offseason, and then, you know, Bryant's going to be a free agent after 21. Here's an early prediction. I think that the Dodgers re-sign Justin Turner to a one-year deal, and then, well, they'll see how the DH goes. So he'll play third base for one more year. Then they're hoping to land Chris Bryant at third base and move Turner to DH. I think that could be a route for the Dodgers to go to stay World Series contender for a few more years, for sure. So yeah, you know, you're seeing some names on here. And now the Rockies also want to get rid of Arenado. You know, if we didn't already have Rendon, you know, maybe we go tap into the Rockies pool again. You know, there are some guys, some minor leaguers on here. Osuna, who I've talked about, you know, but I don't want anybody who's got a domestic abuse charge on the team. I'll get fighting Joe Kelly. Maybe have him go out and give Joe Kelly face and start a fight with somebody. The Astros would be great. Yeah. Okay. There's some options. Whoa, Garrett Cole? What? and Chapman. What are the and Stanton? The Yankees are just like, nah, blowing up the roster, starting over. For Jazz Chisholm and Nick Williams. I mean, that's a little crazy. Uh, Garrett Cole, yeah, okay. I don't know what the OOTP AI is thinking there. That is nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Okay, Stroman's available as well. Did he just re-sign? No, he's going to be a free agent after 21, right? Oh, Kana. Or Kana. Not exactly sure. He just re-signed 15 mil a year. Interesting. He's worth 4 WAR in 19. If he does that, he's worth every bit of that new contract. But if he puts up his 2018 numbers over a season, not as much. That's interesting that Oakland shelled out that. Yeah. The Pirates, trying to get rid of anybody they have that is good, typical. Chris Paddock, wow. And Zach Davies, a great rebound year with the, or breakout year with the Padres this year. He was awesome. I picked him up on my fantasy team, which, by the way, I will be doing some fantasy baseball videos. Breaking some things down, going through the draft, and just hoping you guys, anybody who wants to get ready. I did win my league. I mean, it was a random, just ESPN join with people from all over who want to draft at the same time as you do. I did win, though. It was good. It was fun. It was my first time playing since 2016, when I played with a friend and his group of buddies who I didn't know. I got second place, and they promptly kicked me out. So, I mean, that's kind of funny, but it was a good experience. I guess they weren't expecting me to be good. They just wanted somebody to beat, and they did not get that. So I'll break some things down. For fantasy baseball fans. And Blake Snell. Wow. Man. I mean, he is really good. Like, really, really good. And that contract, not bad. Okay. That's not a bad contract for him. That's really, really good, actually. I'm obviously thinking about it. I know we just got a bunch of pitchers. Maybe I can put a couple in there. I definitely want to have some starting pitching depth. Like, I think that's really smart. Injuries happen all the time. Goldschmidt, wow. And Mikolas, Alex Wood, got a ring. to think about that, how I could package that deal. So, trades take a lot of time because you're thinking about a lot of different things. And that is an Portland team. Their entire first, second, short, third catcher. The whole team they drafted there. Gary Sanchez, Moran, Altuve, Boat, and Arcia. I mean, that's a pretty good group for an expansion team. And Nashville is offering their outfield. So you get the infield from Portland and the outfield from Nashville. Schwarber, Kiermaier, and Castellanos. That's, man, interesting for sure. So I'm gonna pause and think about this and kind of look at my roster and what I want to do with that, and then come back and we'll break it down. Okay, guys, I just have to show you how crazy this is. I pulled up the Boston thing because they had Chris Sale, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Benintendi available for trade, and so you saw those as individual, and you click on one, and then that is where the trade is. But then I just kept adding them, and they will literally give me Chris Sale, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Benintendi for Jazz Chisholm and Nick Williams. I don't. It's totally nuts. I mean, it's obviously a salary dump for Boston, but good Lord, that is insane. What a haul. But problem is, I still got Justin Upton. So let me show you this. Upton. We'll just add him. They're willing to give me all of that. And then boom. Nope. Not willing to do a trade with a vastly overpaid veteran. Yeah. Yikes. That is how bad the Upton deal is. I'm even taking 30% of it. Still no. 50%? And I must be joking. What? I'm willing to pay half of that dude's salary for him to take up a roster spot. 70%, and it's still not enough. They don't even want to pay 30% of Upton's contract for him to be on their roster. I have to pay 80% of it to get this back to them agreeing. That only cost them like $5 million extra. That's how bad that deal is. Talk about an untradeable contract. That is insane. Totally insane. I just had to show you guys that. I still have a lot of thinking to do if I really want to do that. And then I end up with Chris Sale and Eduardo Rodriguez and have a glut of starting pitching. Talk about serious starting pitching depth. That would be nuts. But I'm going to play around with some other things and see what else we can find. And maybe I'll show you all that in just a minute. All right. Here's another one. So the Cubs offered Craig Kimbrell for Chisholm and Williams. My assistant GM says, don't do this. They offer an overpaid veteran. Now, Craig Kimbrell is one of the best closers of all time, for sure. Yes, he had a terrible year. He has not had a good run with the Cubs, but if there is, I mean, his ceiling is so high. His time with the Red Sox, and the Braves, he was just unbelievably lights out. And if there's a shot that he can rekindle that magic, it's worth it. Um, but I have to show you this. And yes, I am picking on this guy / contract because of how absurd it is. Boom. My assistant GM obviously loves it because we're trading one overpaid veteran for another one, uh, getting rid of the Upton contract. Again, I tried going up through this, so I'll show you 30%, still no. But it changes my assistant GM's language to now they're offering the overpaid veteran, and he wouldn't do it. 70%, still not quite enough. Insane. So I'm apparently going to have to pay 80% of his contract to unload it. Insanity. Complete insanity. Do I want to pay $20 million a year for Upton to play for somebody else? If he's just league average, it's worth it just to keep overpaying him and let him stay here. Yeah. Wow. We'll see what else I can find. I did notice that if you keep hitting back enough times, it'll eventually go back to here. The Yankees are offering Giancarlo Stanton. So he is even more expensive and for many more years than Upton. And so one would think, I mean, he had obviously those 17 and 18 really good years, 17 being lights out. Did he win the MVP that year? Maybe. Probably. The 59 homer year. Incredible. Yeah, if he returns to 17, 18, Stanton, overpaying him, getting, 3 to 7 WAR a year is worth it. If I get to get rid of the Upton contract. But if he's only worth half a WAR, then it's a bit of a problem because of injuries, whatever. He's amazing, obviously, when he can be on the field. Let's see. Let's just see. Will they accept the Upton contract? No. And it's 2 years if they're trying to get out of money. They're trying to save money. 8 years on Stanton's contract. Only 2 years on Upton's. Oh my God. Let's see. Nope, not at 25. The 50, it's an insult. It apparently got worse somehow. At 75, there it is, 75%. I can. Good God, I gotta pay 70. Yep, that's it. There it is, 75%. Unbelievable. Well, it looks like that truly is untradeable. I've mentioned it multiple times. Yeah, pretty sure we're stuck with Upton. So I guess I may end up bolstering getting even more pitching because I have to keep Upton on the roster. Left field is occupied, so no point in trading for a left fielder. I don't have any other real positional needs. So pitching, pitching is always good to improve. This is nuts. Maybe I can also get some prospects, some minor league guys, so that I start filling that back up, since I traded away 5 of them for Trevor Story. Still totally worth it. Trevor Story's amazing. But that definitely depleted the farm system quite a bit. So gonna have to try to fill that back up. So we'll take a look at some pitchers and see who can offer me, who's willing to offer some minor leaguers as well, some depth pieces, some future depth pieces at least, and also take on maybe a few of these guys who don't have a very high ceiling, and aren't really going to see much playing time anyway. Take some of those guys on as well, in addition for me taking on a contract, another contract. So I'll play around, and we'll see how that goes, and maybe I'll show you a couple of things. All right, so I've played around a little bit and found this trade to be something I like. The Rays willing to part with Snell, who is incredible. I wouldn't have pulled you in the World Series, bro. He was just unhittable, and it was impressive. Yeah, so we'll trade for you, and Renfroe, who made some amazing defensive plays. Hopefully his offense will bounce back to his Padre days. And then, that's an upgrade from Williams. The funny thing is they both have money in their personality. But defensively and offensively, in 17 and 18, both Williams and Renfroe were better in 17 and 18. And Renfroe also did it in 19, whereas Williams had fallen off a bit. But defensively, you see much better, and that is important, especially if you do not have, if all of your pitchers aren't strikeout guys. It means the ball's going to be in play more, and so you want good defensive guys, as the Rays showed on their way to the World Series this year. So I also got them to hold on to 40% of Renfroe's contract for 1 year. Might be able to get a prospect instead, but I like that I'm moving 4 roster spots for 2 a lot, and moving some of the back end of the bullpen guys, because bringing in Snell is going to push somebody out of the starting rotation, and so we're going to have more big time innings eaters. We don't need the guys at the lower leverage situation relievers. And then Williams for Renfroe swap, and Jazz Chisholm is replaceable because we got the Trevor Story deal done. So definitely don't need a shortstop only guy for a number of years. So I think this is a good deal. Makes a lot of sense for me. I didn't even look at their prospect pipeline. I'm sure it's good. Yeah, it's really good. They're not going to give me anybody, any big one. Catcher, I could get a little younger, maybe, but we'll see. Kind of like where I'm at. Oh, that's a really good first baseman. I have really good first baseman though. So, I mean, they have Pedro Martinez. He's come back as a third baseman. Um, Interesting. Um, like that logo. Renegades, Raccoons. Um, we've got the Trash Pandas, so some great minor league team names. I think you should be clever, have fun with those, and the more fun they are, the better. You know. I think this Renfroe Snell deal uh, makes us better immediately, and something that he is on a minor league contract. You could see about that. Needs to think about it. There it is. That's totally worth it. So now we get another. See, that's something you can play around with too. You play around with the money that's being retained by a team. You could do it on your side, as I've shown, where I had to, if I want to move Upton, I've got to retain 80% of his contract. So, I mean, if that's the case, I'm definitely not going to do it this year. If I, maybe next year. So then it's just one season of paying 80% of his salary to be on somebody else's team. I know that, the Red Sox paid, I think it's half of David Price's contract for him to be a Dodger now. You know, some teams can be very motivated to move a guy, a contract that they don't want to have anymore. And they'd rather pay, if you'd rather pay a chunk to have that roster spot open, that spot in the lineup, spot in the bullpen, whatever it is, money is a huge factor in there. So, I just bumped it down just a little bit, get a 24-year-old pitcher who's got some high upside, looks like. So I'm even, replacing that. So this is, I think, a great deal for me. I'm not even going to bother tinkering anymore. Arozarena's in the what? Yeah, he was amazing all postseason. Truly amazing. They got a steal getting him from the Cardinals. The Rays have a knack for stealing from teams. With the Pirates deal, that was awesome. Getting Glasnow and Meadows for Archer, well, that was a steal. That was great. Yeah, so maybe these guys end up stealing from me. Maybe somebody Chisholm and Williams turned it around, get on track. But I like my odds with Snell and Renfroe on this one for sure. So I'm saying no to all the other offers. I could have had Sale, Benintendi, and Rodriguez, although from the Red Sox, although that would cost all of my available money. And they still wouldn't take Upton, so I don't, Benintendi wouldn't have that left field spot. And I mean, Renfroe is now, with Renfroe and Eaton, maybe split time in right field, and Renfroe can also play left a little bit for Upton. So yeah, this is a really good deal. Let's make it happen. Yeah, the fan interest should increase slightly. Having Blake Snell, he's fantastic. That's great. And so, now Chisholm, who we picked up in that Rule 5 draft. So he went from Miami to Nashville to Los Angeles, Angels to Tampa Bay, all this offseason. That is quite the whirlwind for a guy, but that's how fast the offseason can move, um, and how quickly things can change. Because of that Trevor Story deal that just popped up in my inbox. Now I don't need Chisholm, and so. And I got Chisholm in the Rule 5 draft because I foolishly forgot to add Diaz, who I had traded for, to the protected roster before the Rule 5 draft. So not a great move by me, but it all worked out. Maybe I wouldn't have even gotten the Trevor Story offer if that series of events hadn't played out like it did. So everything happens for a reason, guys. Everything happens for a reason. So you just roll with it. See, I'm feeling awesome about this team. We didn't re-sign Andrelton Simmons, who is a wizard with the glove. But Trevor Story is a massive, massive bat to go with the glove. So very thrilled to have Story at short. Upgrade at left field that's really tough. Maybe he can move that to next year. This is the owner goals. Dude, if we're not over 500, this is really, really embarrassing because, we acquired way more than one top player. Spent a little bit of money to do it, but yeah, we've got an awesome, awesome roster. I'm thrilled to charge into this season, especially with the realignment. Don't have to deal with the Astros as often. So just the West, there's our division. Dealing with the Athletics, they're going to be the biggest competition for the division title for sure. And there are 2 wild card spots again, not 4, but with 4 divisions, so there's 6 teams making the playoffs. I gotta think we're one of the best 6 teams in the American League. There's no reason we should not be in the playoffs. So let's go make sure that Snell and Renfroe get off of the DFA and go ahead and just put them on that active roster. Then we'll get to charge into spring training and see how things happen. That is the last move I think we're going to make. We will head for spring training. And I can just click autoplay to that. And unless I get a notification of somebody wanting to trade with me, it's just going to keep rolling. Some trades are happening, as you can see there. Simeon signs with Colorado. Makes sense. They traded Story to me. And so here you go, with your international players that your scout gets. So this is another reason why you want a really good scout. He's going to go out and get you your international players. And then when they have been in the international complex for long enough, then they get promoted into your minor league system. And so that happens automatically, and I've got it set up to where the assistant GM is managing the minor league promotion and demotion stuff because I don't want to go through all of that. That is a lot of work, and the assistant GM ought to do something. So that's his job. I basically take a look at AAA and obviously the major league roster, and that's kind of where I keep it. Certainly during the regular season, but even most of the off season. It's the Rule 5 draft is the only other time I'm looking at the other minor leagues to make sure I'm not going to lose somebody who's got a really high ceiling. So yeah, let's see who signed with where, and then it's time for spring training to start. Pilar with the Red Sox. Oh yeah, because they lost Jackie Bradley Jr. They let him go in the off season. La Stella, former Angel. briefly played with Oakland this past season, 20. He's really, really good. So that's a good pickup by the Indians. There, there's another one. Got another international one, and that'll happen throughout the year. Happens all the time. That your scout finds somebody. And the Rockies wheeling and dealing quite a bit as well. Venezuela and Panama. I would think everybody would want out of Venezuela. I mean, they might all claim that they could play baseball just to get out of Venezuela. Socialism doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. So, yeah. It's good to help those kids get out of Venezuela. That's great. I mean, obviously, the best thing would be if capitalism returned to Venezuela. That would be the best. Then Venezuela could be thriving again, and we could have maybe tons more baseball players because they would all be able to afford a bat and a glove and have fields and time to play. Oh, Boston's wheeling and dealing. Oh, Cal Quantrill. He was with Cleveland? What? Oh, wow. Yeah, San Diego traded him to Cleveland. I didn't even know that. Yeah, he was good. I drafted him in an expansion draft the first time when I was with when I had Nashville, did the expansion draft. Drafted him. He turned into quite the ace. Very good. Very, very good. Highly recommend picking him up if you can. Hunter, Simeon, going to Colorado to replace Story. And awesome. Here we are. Spring training. So that'll do it for this video, and we will be back with spring training baseball next. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you really enjoyed this. Have a wonderful